Imagine you're walking through the jungle, the savannah, or even your own backyard. And suddenly, you lock eyes with a creature that doesn't just see you as a visitor, it sees you as a threat. These animals won't give you a warning, they won't hesitate. And if you're not fast enough, you might not make it out at all. From relentless predators to creatures with zero fear, here are the most aggressive species you should never cross paths with. The African wilderness is home to some of the most terrifying predators on Earth. Lions, hyenas, and leopards roam the savannas, hunting their prey with precision. But there's one creature so aggressive, so unpredictable, that even these apex predators think twice before crossing its path. The baboon. At first glance, it might not seem like much. Just a monkey, right? But let me tell you, if you ever come face to face with one of these fang-bearing, muscle-packed monsters, you'd better pray it doesn't see you as a threat. Baboons are far from the timid primates people imagine. They are brutal, intelligent, and above all, fearless. We're talking about highly territorial creatures with 2-inch-long fangs, longer than a lion's, capable of tearing through flesh and breaking bone with a single bite. And when they attack, they don't just bite once. They maul, they rip, they disfigure. But here's where things get even worse. They don't hunt alone. Baboons travel in large, well-organized troops of up to 200 members. That means if one sees you as a threat, you're not just fighting one enraged primate. You're taking on an army of aggressive, coordinated killers that will stop at nothing to defend their own. And their violence isn't just limited to the animal kingdom. Humans have felt their wrath too. Villagers across Africa have reported horrifying encounters. Baboon raids where they break into homes, steal food, and even snatch human infants straight from their mother's arms. They've been known to ambush farmers, brutally maiming them beyond recognition. Still think they're just cute little monkeys? Even leopards, their natural predators, approach with extreme caution. A lone baboon might be an easy kill, but a full troop? That's suicide. There have been recorded cases of leopards being overwhelmed, ripped apart, and left to rot in the dirt. And if you think you can run, think again. Baboons are fast, capable of reaching speeds of 30 miles per hour, 48 kilometers per hour. If they decide to chase you down, they will catch you. So if you ever find yourself in the African wild and you spot a baboon staring at you with those cold, calculating eyes, don't move, don't run, don't even breathe too hard. Because the moment it sees you as a threat, your survival is no longer in your hands. And if you hear that terrifying, blood-curdling bark echo through the trees, it's already too late. The African savanna is home to some of the most fearsome predators, lions, leopards, and hyenas, but none compare to the sheer brutality and precision of the African wild dog. These animals don't just kill, they butcher, dismember, and devour their prey while it's still alive. At first glance, you might think they're just another type of wild canine. But don't be fooled. These aren't wolves, they aren't hyenas. They are something far worse. African wild dogs are nature's most efficient hunters. While lions succeed in only 1 out of 5 hunts, wild dogs have a staggering 85% kill rate, the highest of any predator in Africa. Why? Because they don't hunt like other animals. They hunt like an elite, synchronized death squad. Here's how it works. Once they've locked onto a target, there's no escape. The pack fans out, flanking their prey from every angle. They use military-level strategy, constantly communicating, adjusting, and cutting off every possible route of escape. Then the chase begins. Most predators rely on short bursts of speed to catch their prey, not wild dogs. They are built for endurance, capable of running at 44 miles per hour, 70 kilometers per hour, for miles without slowing down. Their prey, exhausted and terrified, eventually collapses from sheer exhaustion. And this is where things get gruesome. Unlike big cats, which go for the throat to deliver a quick kill, African wild dogs don't waste time. They begin feeding instantly, tearing into their prey while it's still breathing. A zebra, an antelope, even a massive wildebeest, ripped apart in seconds, its screams drowned out by the frenzy of snapping jaws and blood-soaked fur. But their merciless efficiency doesn't end there. These dogs are highly intelligent and incredibly social. They care for their sick, raise their young together, and even bring food back for injured members of the pack. But don't mistake their loyalty for weakness. In the wild, compassion is for the pack. Everyone else is prey. Even lions fear them. A single wild dog might not stand a chance against a lion, but a full pack? They will harass, bite, and exhaust the king of the jungle until it retreats, humiliated and wounded. And if you ever find yourself in the African wild and hear their eerie, high-pitched calls echoing through the night, you're already being watched. You might not see them, but they've already seen you. And if they were hungry, you wouldn't stand a chance. Because African wild dogs don't just hunt. They dominate, they conquer, and they kill, fast, brutal, and without mercy. No creature runs from them and survives. Gaur, the monster of the jungle. Deep in the dense forests of India, where even tigers move with caution, a true beast reigns supreme. A creature so massive, so unstoppable, that even the deadliest predators think twice before crossing its path. This is the gaur, the Indian bison, a walking tank of pure muscle and destruction. Standing over 7 feet, 2.2 meters, at the shoulder and weighing more than 2,200 pounds, 1,000 kilograms, the gaur is the largest and most powerful bovine on the planet. It doesn't just exist in the wild, it owns it. But make no mistake, this isn't some slow-moving grazer, peacefully chewing grass. This is a war machine wrapped in leather. The gauntlet of death. Everything about the gaur's body is built for battle. Its horns, razor-sharp, curved like twin scimitars, capable of gutting, goring, and tossing a full-grown tiger into the air like a rag doll. Its skull, a battering ram reinforced with a bony shield designed to shatter bones and crush anything in its way. Its hooves? Not just for walking, they are weapons. A single stomp can turn a predator's ribcage into dust. Even elephants have been seen giving way when a furious gaur charges. A nightmare for predators. Most prey animals flee when attacked. The gaur? It fights back, hard. Tigers, the apex predators of India, fear them. There are recorded cases where a tiger miscalculated, launched its ambush, and ended up trampled, gored, and left to die under the gaur's merciless fury. A wounded gaur will chase down its attacker, refusing to stop until the threat is crushed into the ground. Even crocodiles lurking in rivers aren't safe. A gaur's sheer power allows it to drag predators straight out of the water, thrashing them into lifeless pulp. The true jungle king? Most people think of lions and tigers as the kings of the wild, but ask any seasoned hunter or wildlife expert in India, and they'll tell you, the gaur is the real boss of the jungle. Unlike big cats, which rely on stealth and ambush, the gaur dominates through brute force and unbreakable will. It doesn't run from a fight. It is the fight. And if you ever find yourself face to face with a gaur in the wild, don't move, don't breathe, and pray it doesn't see you as a threat. Because when a 7-foot, 1-ton juggernaut decides you're in its way, there's nowhere to run. Wolf pack, the shadow of death. They move in silence, unseen but always watching. Their glowing eyes pierce through the darkness, locked onto their next victim. You may hear a twig snap, a whisper of movement in the trees, but by the time you realize you're not alone, it's already too late. This is the wolf pack, nature's most ruthless executioners. Forget everything you think you know about wolves. These aren't lone hunters, aimlessly wandering the wild. They are a unit, a machine, a perfectly synchronized force of destruction. And when they choose their target, there is no escape. The hunt begins. Wolves don't just kill, they terrorize. Their attack isn't a frenzied rush, it's a calculated massacre. First, they surround their prey, cutting off every escape route. One wolf steps forward, testing the victim's reaction. Another moves behind, blocking the way. Then, the chase begins. A single wolf can run up to 40 miles per hour, 64 kilometers per hour, but a pack? They don't stop. Their endurance is unmatched. They will chase, corner, and exhaust their prey, whether it's a deer, a bison, or even a fully grown moose. And when the moment is right, They strike as one. The kill wolves don't rely on brute strength alone. They are strategists. They know exactly where to bite, how to bring down something bigger, stronger, even deadlier than them. Their weapons? Bone-crushing jaws, powerful enough to snap femurs and rip through flesh like paper. Precision strikes, going straight for the throat, suffocating their prey in seconds. Relentless teamwork. One wolf distracts, another attacks from behind, and another finishes the job. When a wolf pack takes down its prey, they don't just eat, they feast. Every ounce of flesh is devoured, every drop of blood drained into the snow. There is nothing left but bones. Wolves versus humans. Think wolves don't attack humans? Think again. Throughout history, entire villages have been wiped out by ravenous packs during harsh winters. In Russia, records tell of wolves storming towns, breaking down doors, dragging people into the night. In 18th century France, the beast of Gévaudan, a monstrous wolf or wolf-dog hybrid, ripped over 100 people apart. Even today, in the remote corners of the world, people vanish without a trace, their remains found weeks later, picked clean by the jaws of a hungry pack. You can't outrun the pack. If you ever find yourself in wolf territory, alone in the wild, with the air thick with silence, listen carefully. You won't hear them coming. You won't see them until they want you to. And when the first set of glowing eyes appears in the darkness, know this: you're already dead. The shadows shift, and then you see them. Eyes burning like embers, teeth gleaming in the moonlight. Hyenas. Not scavengers, not cowards, killers. And they are hungry. Forget what you've been told. Hyenas are not the timid opportunists people believe them to be. They are relentless, ruthless, and terrifyingly intelligent. Their jaws are the strongest of any land predator, crushing bone as if it were nothing more than dry twigs. Their bite doesn't just wound, it obliterates, pulverizing flesh, muscle, and marrow in a single snap. They don't hunt alone. A single hyena might test the waters, circling, calculating, gauging your weakness. But when the pack comes, it's over. They don't charge blindly like lions or wolves. No, they break you down piece by piece. They harass, they bite, they exhaust. There's no escape. You don't get the mercy of a clean kill, only the agony of being eaten alive. They take their time. A victim collapses, not from a fatal wound, but from sheer exhaustion, overwhelmed by the relentless onslaught. And then the frenzy begins. They rip flesh from bone while the prey still screams, still thrashes. They don't wait for life to fade. They devour it, consume it, piece by agonizing piece, while the heartbeat still pounds in terror. Hyenas don't fear much. They challenge lions, steal their kills, and rip apart creatures twice their size. They raid villages, drag livestock, and sometimes people, into the night. Their eerie calls have haunted the outskirts of human settlements for centuries, the last thing travelers hear before vanishing without a trace. Some say hyenas don't just hunt flesh. In African folklore, they are creatures of the supernatural, spirits of the damned, shapeshifters that stalk the unwary, dragging them into the darkness, never to be seen again. Science calls them predators. Legends call them demons. The truth? Somewhere in between. So if you ever hear that eerie, bone-chilling laughter in the dead of night, don't run. It won't matter. The hunt has already begun. And hyenas. They never leave a meal unfinished. In the frozen wilderness, where survival is a brutal contest of strength and endurance, few creatures command the level of fear and respect that the wolverine does. This animal is not just aggressive, it is a relentless predator, a fighter that refuses to back down no matter the odds. With a body built for destruction and a temperament as fierce as any apex predator, the wolverine is one of the most dangerous creatures in the wild. Weighing between 20 to 55 pounds, the wolverine may seem unimposing compared to larger carnivores, but its sheer power and aggression make up for its size. It possesses dense muscle mass, razor-sharp claws that can tear through flesh and ice, and a jaw so powerful that it can crush bone with ease. Unlike many predators, the wolverine doesn't hesitate to attack animals several times its size. Wolves, caribou, and even bears have fallen victim to its relentless assaults. What makes the wolverine especially deadly is its unmatched endurance. This animal can cover vast distances without tiring, moving through deep snow and harsh terrain with ease. It is a masterful hunter, capable of chasing down prey for miles, wearing it down before delivering the fatal strike. And even if the kill isn't fresh, the wolverine's jaws are strong enough to tear through frozen carcasses, allowing it to feast on prey that most predators would abandon. Its aggression is legendary. Wolverines will fight for food, for territory, or simply because they refuse to be challenged. They have been known to charge at wolves mid-hunt, steal from much larger predators, and even stand their ground against bears. Silent, unseen, until it strikes. The jaguar is not just a big cat. It is a living weapon, the most powerful feline in the Western Hemisphere, and one of the most efficient killers on the planet. With a build designed for pure destruction, this apex predator hunts with a level of brutality unmatched by any of its relatives. Unlike lions or tigers, the jaguar does not go for the throat. It doesn't suffocate its prey. It kills in a way that is far more terrifying, by crushing skulls. With the strongest bite force of any big cat, measuring at an astonishing 1,500 to 2,000 pounds per square inch, the jaguar's jaws are strong enough to pierce through bone, crack turtle shells, and sink through the thick skulls of its victims in a single devastating bite. This is not just a predator, it is an executioner, delivering instant death with surgical precision. Speed, power, and stealth make the jaguar nearly unstoppable. It can weigh up to 250 pounds, its body a dense mass of muscle wrapped in a sleek spotted coat that serves as near-perfect camouflage in the jungle. It moves through the undergrowth without a sound, stalking its prey with chilling patience, and when the moment comes, it explodes into action, launching itself with devastating force. The jaguar is an ambush predator. It does not chase down prey. It waits, hidden, its golden eyes locked on its target. Then, in a blur of muscle and claws, it strikes. A single bite to the skull or spine, and it's over before the victim even realizes what has happened. This hunting technique allows jaguars to take down animals far larger than themselves, deer, tapirs, even caimans. But what makes the jaguar truly terrifying is its adaptability. It is one of the few big cats that thrive in water, using rivers and swamps as its own hunting grounds. It will dive into murky depths, drag prey into the water, and drown it with sheer brute force. In the thick jungle or beneath the surface, nowhere is safe. In the remote wilderness of North America, deep in the forests, mountains, and frozen tundra, there is a beast that dominates the land like a living nightmare. The grizzly bear is not just big, it is an unstoppable force of nature, a predator so powerful, so unpredictable, that even apex hunters fear crossing its path. If you ever find yourself face to face with a grizzly, understand this: you are not at the top of the food chain anymore. Towering up to 10 feet tall on its hind legs and weighing over 1,200 pounds, the grizzly is a living tank, built for carnage. Its massive, muscular frame is covered in thick, coarse fur, its humped shoulders packed with raw power. But what truly makes it terrifying are its weapons. 5-inch claws, longer than a human hand, capable of slicing through flesh and bone like paper. Jaws strong enough to crush a bowling ball in a single bite. A single swipe from this beast can decapitate a full-grown moose, rip through thick skulls, and leave deep, gaping wounds that will never stop bleeding. Unlike other predators, grizzlies don't just kill to eat. They kill because they can. They have been known to maul for dominance, for territory, or simply because something crossed their path at the wrong time. Unlike wolves or big cats that usually aim for a quick kill, a grizzly attack is pure brutality. They don't just kill their prey, they crush, they maul, they tear apart anything that challenges them. If a grizzly comes for you, there is no mercy. These beasts are faster than you think. A full-grown grizzly can charge at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, faster than the fastest human sprinter in history. And once it locks onto a target, there is no escape. The Siberian tiger, an unstoppable force, a nightmare wrapped in orange and black. This is no ordinary big cat. It is the largest of its kind, a walking executioner weighing up to 700 pounds with the raw strength to snap a spine in a single strike. It moves like a shadow, completely silent, completely unseen until the very last second. Unlike other predators that rely on sheer numbers or endurance, the Siberian tiger is the perfect assassin. Lightning-fast reflexes, monstrous power, and a mind as sharp as its claws. It doesn't just hunt. It studies. It waits. It calculates every move. No animal in its domain is safe. It has been known to take down creatures nearly twice its size: moose, wild boars, bears. It doesn't just overpower them, it obliterates them. With a burst of speed, it closes the distance in seconds, slamming into its victim like a battering ram, knocking it off its feet before delivering the fatal blow. And that bite, with over 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, it crushes through skulls, spines, ribs, whatever stands between its jaws and death. But what makes the Siberian tiger truly terrifying isn't just its size, its power, or its stealth, it's its mind. This is an animal that remembers. There are chilling reports of these tigers tracking hunters for days, even weeks, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They have been known to ambush entire villages, slipping past doors, dragging people into the night, leaving behind only blood and silence. In one case, a single tiger reportedly eliminated a group of poachers one by one, systematically hunting them down, as if enacting a calculated revenge. Unlike most predators, the Siberian tiger doesn't kill for hunger alone. It kills because it can. It kills because it is the ruler of its frozen kingdom. And if you ever cross into its domain, it won't matter how fast you run, how deep you hide, or how well you fight back. The tiger has already chosen its prey, and once it has chosen you, there is no escape. Beneath the murky surface, an ancient killer waits, unseen, unheard, patient beyond human comprehension. It is the Nile crocodile, the apex of ambush predators, a living fossil perfected by evolution over 100 million years. It does not stalk its prey. It does not chase. It simply waits, motionless, a shadow beneath the water, until the exact moment when everything goes wrong. It is the executioner of the rivers, the silent grim reaper of the shallows. With a body armored like stone, eyes that pierce through the darkness, and a bite force that eclipses any other predator on land, the Nile crocodile is a creature that does not just kill, it erases. The moment its prey dares to approach the water's edge, it strikes with ungodly speed, launching its 1,600-pound frame in a single violent explosion. Its jaws slam shut with over 5,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, enough to turn bone to dust, enough to make even lions and hippos fear its wrath. But biting down is only the beginning. The Nile crocodile does not simply kill, it tortures. Once its jaws are locked, there is no escape. It drags its victim into the depths, thrashing violently, twisting and rolling in the infamous death roll, ripping flesh from bone, breaking limbs, drowning its prey in a spinning whirlwind of destruction. And once the screaming stops, once the body falls limp, the crocodile will wedge it beneath a rock, letting it rot until it is soft enough to consume. It is a nightmare that does not sleep. A force of nature that has perfected its craft over millions of years. In some areas, it kills more people than sharks, lions, and leopards combined. Fishermen, unsuspecting travelers, even those who have lived near the river their entire lives, none are safe. Because the Nile crocodile does not discriminate, it does not hesitate, and it does not forgive. It is not just the most aggressive crocodilian. It is not just one of the deadliest predators on the planet. It is nature's perfect killer, a relentless force of pure, unfiltered violence. And if you ever find yourself near its waters, standing too close, looking too long, feeling too safe, understand this: you are already dead. You just don't know it yet.